Hi, this is Marty Kramer with the Texas Association of Realtors. I'm here with Tom Morgan, Vice President of Legal Affairs at the Texas Association of Realtors. And Tom, we want to talk today about something that is very important to Texas Realtors in their business, and that's MLS data and listing data. Sometimes that information is out of date or incorrect, and a consumer will come to a Texas Realtor and say, I'm interested in buying this house, and the realtor will find out the house is no longer for sale, or it's a different price, or there's just some other error in the information. Why does that happen, and what can realtors do about it? How do they handle that situation?
Yeah, thanks, Marty. It's a big problem. We hear about it all the time, and there was a lot of discussion about this at the National Association of Realtors Convention in Anaheim, California, which just concluded. The reality is that the internet is the way consumers look for real property today. It's not unusual for a consumer to come up with a list of houses that they've seen someplace on the internet and go to a realtor and say, I want to buy one of these houses. As you mentioned, a lot of times the information is just inaccurate. If you are a listing broker, you typically want your listings to be as many places as possible because you're trying to sell the house. So what happens, in addition to putting in the MLS, listing brokers often put them into other services that take those listings for free and then aggregate all the listings that they get into data feeds that go out to a lot of different websites. Well, those syndicators, that's what they're called, people who take all of that information, put it together, and flow it into other websites. They may not be rigorous in how they update that information. What those syndicators want to do is drive consumer traffic to the websites. And it's not that they don't care about the accuracy, but they're more interested in getting people to look at the website so they can sell advertising. Well, the way the listing broker can police that data is look carefully at the terms and use agreement when they sign with a syndicator, so that make sure they've got control over what happens with the data. They want to make sure that the listing broker's name is prominently displayed on the landing page of whatever that syndicator website is. There are examples out there of syndicated websites where you can find the listing, not find the listing broker's name anywhere on it, and have to click through several times before you get to the actual listing broker. And on those websites, what they really are doing, in addition to selling advertising, they are selling space to other realtors or licensees that want to capture that lead as a buyer's representative. So those people have paid to have their pictures on the landing page, and then if the consumer goes to them about the listing rather than the listing broker, then that realtor or licensee who's paid for that space can sign up that consumer as a buyer's representative and try to earn the commission off that. So that's one thing the listing broker can do for listings they're putting out on syndicated pages. Now, every multiple listing service pretty much is required now to have what's called an Internet Data Exchange policy, an IDX policy. So if the data feed is coming through the IDX feed that listing brokers can voluntarily opt into as part of their MLS IDX policy, and most listing brokers do that, then if there's an inaccuracy in that data feed, that somebody's picking up that IDX feed and not updating it, then the listing broker can go directly to the MLS and make sure the IDX feed is accurate. One of the problems is that the aggregators have multiple data feeds coming to them. So, for example, Trulia gets 2,000 different data feeds. That's, but still 2,000 is a lot. Right. And a lot of that information is duplicative. So you'll get the same house from several different data feeds. And what they have to figure out, and they do this on a daily basis, is which data feed has priority, which one is more correct than the other ones. And that doesn't always work. So if you see something on Trulia or Zillow that's inaccurate, they do have ways to resolve those data disputes. If it's coming from the MLS, that's usually the most accurate. Sometimes if it's coming from franchise organizations, they give that priority. But there are ways to remedy the data feed problem. The most important thing for the realtor to do is take some action, try and rectify the problem so it doesn't continue to occur.
Is there any sort of risk to the broker if that information is out of date and the broker hasn't taken some steps to correct it?
Well, there's no legal risk, Marty. The problem is customer service, consumer service, and perception of the realtor. If a consumer finds the listing broker for the house and goes to the listing broker and says, well, that house has already sold, then that realtor or listing broker looks bad in the eyes of the consumer. So it's less likely that that consumer is going to refer business to that broker or come back and use that broker in the future.
Very good. Thanks for that information, Tom.
Thank you, Marty.